State of Wisconsin versus Lisa Taylor. We're set here today in this matter for a plea and sentencing. Ms. Landgraf, can you please recite the agreement for the record? All right, Ms. Taylor, do you understand the agreement that's been reached? So you're pleading guilty to an amended count of possession with intent heroin under, or it's over 3 grams, but less than 10 as a party to a crime. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Formal motion to amend?
So made.
It is granted. And you're also pleading guilty to 1 count of issue of worthless checks. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand that with regards to the possession with intent to deliver heroin of over 3 grams but less than 10 grams as a party to a crime, that the state would have to prove that you knowingly possessed a substance. The substance was heroin. You believed or knew that that substance was a controlled substance, and here it was heroin, and you intended to deliver that, meaning that you intended to transfer that or give that or provide that to another person. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that as a party to a crime, it means that you either directly or indirectly, by aiding, abetting, or conspiring with another person, or you did it yourself to commit a crime?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, do you understand the maximum possible penalty there would be 15 years of incarceration or a $50,000 fine, or both?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that with regards to issuing a worthless check, the state would have to prove that you wrote a check, and at the time you wrote the check, you didn't intend to have that be paid? Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that upon conviction, you face a $10,000 fine, 9 months of incarceration, or both?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, do you understand here that there is a recommendation? I believe it's cost only for the issuing a worthless check, but as it relates to that felony, that it would be a recommendation of 4 years of incarceration, 2 years of initial confinement, and 2 years of extended supervision with other things. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, do you understand that I don't have to follow that recommendation?
Yes, ma'am.
Said differently, if I thought that based upon the facts of this case, taken in conjunction with all of the other cases that you've been charged with, I can look at those and I can say, you know what? This isn't an appropriate sentence. And I can sentence you to something either lesser, or I can sentence you to something even more,
Yes, ma'am.
more time. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you still wish to proceed and enter a guilty plea here today?
Yes, ma'am.
As to the amended count 1 in 22 CF 146, possession with intent of heroin, more than 3 grams, less than 10 grams as a party to a crime, how do you wish to plead?
Guilty.
As to 22 CM 37 count 1, issue of worthless check under $2,500, how do you wish to plead?
Guilty.
The court will find your pleas of guilt are done knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily. I'm going to find that you understand your constitutional rights and what it means to waive and give up those rights. I'm going to find a factual basis to accept your pleas of guilt. Based on that, I will find you guilty of those 2 charges and those 2 crimes. Argument and sentencing recommendation, Mr. Schmidt.
Thank you, Judge. Generally with drug dealer cases, I kind of look at these with the starting point of like 3 to 5 years initial confinement is what I usually think of. And then I go up or down depending on how severe it is, how many counts there are, how much quantity, what the history is. In this case, I think we have a joint agreement of 2 years initial confinement with immediate eligibility for ERP. There are a couple of reasons for that. One, when I made the offer, she had no criminal history. Double checking CCAP before prior to sentencing today, I see she pled to an amphetamine in Sawyer County 8 days ago. So that is her only prior criminal conviction. She got a fine for that, and she forfeited a signature bond at some point. So she owes the court about $3,000 in that case, and there's no probation on it. So this would be the first case she'd be on supervision for after the initial confinement period. I think given the nature of what it is, I think initial confinement is an important component. Going to prison is. This is a very serious offense. It pumps something very dangerous into our community. It puts people's lives at risk. People die of it. I think that's important to note. Prior to agreeing to this, I checked with Mike Anton, who's the investigator on it, to give, well, essentially the defense claimed that Miss Haler was a lesser part of it, that Charles Mitchell was the main person doing it. So I said to Detective Anton, is there any truth to that? What he said to me is that Charles was the main player with the connections to the cities, and that Lisa did go down on her own once after Charles made a deal, and that he believed that Lisa was a pawn more than anything. So I think that given her lack of criminal history prior to this, I think she's probably an addict who got involved with a dealer and became a pawn of his, helping him move quantities that were used both to give to her, probably to sell to the community as well. He's been convicted and gotten a more significant sentence as he was the primary player. So for those reasons, I think the 2 years initial confinement's better with the amount. The reason the immediate eligibility for ERP is because she has so much credit that I think she basically needs to be immediately eligible to do the program. With the amount of credit she has, that's like almost a year and a half in the program, depending on what your categorization level is going to be from DOC. Figures out what program you go into. Those are different lengths. So I think there needs to be immediate eligibility for ERP, or else she just won't do the program at all. So for those reasons, I think this is appropriate. I'm going to bring up one niggling thing. I hope the court isn't bothered by it.
Okay, so then we have 494. Here's the thing. It doesn't really matter because DOC is going to tell me if I'm right or I'm wrong anyway. I'm going to get that nice little letter, a day off, or I need to go up or I need to go down. So it doesn't really matter. It does matter to an extent, but it will always get corrected to what the Department of Corrections believes is the accurate amount of jail. So rest assured, Ms. Taylor, I will be informed by Department of Corrections what the accurate day is, regardless of what I say here today, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Well, I figured that I've already done 490 days. One more, either way, is not really gonna matter at this point.
I appreciate you're saying that, but you do have a constitutional right to not
Yes, ma'am.
have to be incarcerated longer than you should be.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
All right. Anything else, Mr. Schmidt?
No.
Okay. Argument and sentencing recommendation, please.
I'd ask that you adopt the joint recommendation for all the reasons that I stated in the memorandum. Also, Ms. Haler would like the court to reinstate her cash bond that was forfeited, that her parents posted in the amount of $2,500, so it can pay her costs and fees and restitution in this case.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
I don't have anything else. I think I put everything in my memorandum.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Haler,
Yes,
you knew I was gonna put you on the spot.
I know.
Are you prepared?
I am.
Tell me all the stuff.
I just want you to understand, I understand what I've done, and I claim my responsibility for my part in this. I know that's gonna be hard when I get out, but I plan on I'm gonna start crying. Let's discuss. But I'll be going to a sober house afterwards and keep,
Is that all arranged?
not yet.
Okay. You just have that plan.
I have that plan so that I can continue and get more stability in my life and use those resources to help me get a job, to get transportation, to get housing, so that I can move past the situation. The other thing I want to do is, right now I have a bachelor's degree. I want to go back, get my master's in like computer science and blockchain development. So, and I have this plan on how to do it. I think that I've been in county jails for quite a while at this point, and I was up to Bayfield where I've never been. And sometimes I think that Bates has a way of showing you where you need to go, because for the most part, I'm a pretty upbeat person. I like to joke around. And I think, I don't want to sound arrogant or anything, but I think I really did help a lot of girls up there. I turned into Mama Bear, really did. And I helped allow them let their time go faster and just bend that shoulder to cry on. Because otherwise, there's no reason for me to be way up in Bayfield. I would never be up there on my own. So I believe there's a reason that I was there for that long, and that I was there for a purpose. And maybe that's why all this happened. I don't know. But it has helped me see clearer now. And I want to really move past this and not only continue to help others, but get my secondary degree and, provide, have that same ability.
So tell me,
Yes, ma'am.
I want you to be real because I need to know, because I'm going to tell you, this is not an easy decision, and I'm going to tell you why. And it's because of your criminal history, which is next to nothing other than this and that other misdemeanor, okay?
Okay,
And the fact that you're with somebody who is, we know who is the primary culpable person, who is now in prison for a lengthy amount of time, not forever, but a longer period of time. Now, I want to know, I want you to be real with me. You knew what was going on, right?
yes.
Why didn't you stop it? Or why didn't you say no?
Oh, that's a hard one.
So that's why I'm saying, tell me from your heart.
I'm an addict. I am in so much pain on a daily basis. I was in a car accident when I was 12. I had metal plates in my jaw. I lost all my teeth due to this car accident. My nerves never regrew right. So my face, my head hurt constantly, especially in the wintertime, especially with storms. And it is honestly easier and cheaper to get heroin than it was to get prescribed medication. And especially, and I fell into that complacency. I'll say, because normally I always got my pain medication in the wintertime. And I would stop in the summertime so that I didn't build up too much of a tolerance for it. And I've been on opioids for almost 20 years at this point. And they're one of the few things that work for my pain. Like I said, I got complacent. Normally, it's just I'm trying to think of how I want to state this.
Bluntly, I like blunt.
It got to a point that I would do damn near anything to get my pain out. I couldn't function. Literally, I'd be in bed and I'd have to be in a dark room, no lights, no sound, really cold, and just sit there because every little nerve was on fire. I mean, I get electrical, feels like I get electrical shocks up and down my face because I haven't had Botox in a while. My whole face twitches, my eye twitches, and it feels like I got a vice grip on my temple squeezing, metal spikes being shoved into my ears. And you know that deep down bone pain you get with like a bad tooth? I have it throughout my whole jaw all the time. It's hard. It's hard as hell to deal with it. And I've been to pain clinics, and it just when we moved back up here, it was to the point where I was, like I said, I was lazy. I was complacent. It takes about 3 months for me going to a doctor to get the pain meds. Because I gotta try all this other stuff out, and then with the opioid epidemic and everything like that, it's hard. You know, and I didn't want to wait. I wanted the solution. So I took the easy way out and got the heroin instead.
Why did you start to get involved in the dealing or the delivery?
Because it would be, we would get paid in product as some cash. And with this lady, the CI, she should not have been doing it one way or the other. The week before,
Talking about Miss Bowman?
yes, the week before, I Narcaned her 4 times.
You see what happened to
Yes.
her? She's dead.
Yes, and the thing is that we always carried Narcan with us, always, always. So for us, for other people, it got to a point where people would call us instead of calling 911, and I would run over there with the Narcan. I never lost anyone. And Miss Boatman would not stop. We knew she would not stop. If she didn't get it from us, she'd get it from someone else, right? And we knew that at least with us, she'd be alive the next day. So I honestly did not like that woman. I didn't like her. But I have enough, not even enough, but I have the compassion and empathy to go beyond my feelings. I didn't want her dead. So I saved her over and over and over again. And I even told her the week before, maybe you should stop because obviously this drug does not like you. And we do that she had an addiction as well. We know that. And I guess it was more the lesser of two evils. I knew I could keep her alive when she was with us.
That's not your responsibility.
I
But it's also it's not your job, and you can't sell or deal to her or anyone else.
understand that. I do.
Maybe it is your responsibility to keep her alive if you gave her drugs, because otherwise you could be charged with homicide.
Yeah, I didn't want that. So yeah, that's that's it in a nutshell. I mean, we didn't plan on going down to the cities and getting anything. Kathy is the one that had the money, gave us the money. She let us use her car. Oh, we didn't have any cash at the time. We weren't gonna go anywhere. And so when she asked us to go down and get her some stuff, sure, why not? And then I would probably be living with her for a couple days to make sure she didn't die. And that wears on a person too. But like I said, it's one of those things that I knew that if we told her no, she would go somewhere else and
That's
she
not
would
your
end up dying.
responsibility.
I understand that, but it kind of felt like it. We we didn't get her started. She was heavy into this before we ever met her. We got sober there for a while, and she was still calling and we're telling her no. And then we kept hearing that she was ODing again. And I understand it's not my responsibility. I really did. And I understand that I made some poor choices. But I've tried to I guess I don't know the word I'm looking for here. If I knew that with us, she would have another chance, or she would be alive the next day.
Well, let's stop talking about Miss Boatman.
Yeah,
She's
okay, yes,
quite honestly dead and gone.
yep,
And you can't help her or fix her or keep her alive anymore regardless.
right,
So let's concentrate on that, the dealing aspect. Was it just Miss Boatman? Were
yes,
there other individuals? So you simply went and purchased heroin to supply to Miss Boatman and to you and Charles?
yes. She passed away last January.
Yeah,
Yep.
he OD'd.
Yep,
So
Yeah.
it was the four of them, right?
and her son. I Narcaned all three of them. I mean, like I said, I would get called to go Narcan people instead of calling 911 because they're scared to get arrested. And we always had a lot on us for that reason. I'm not saying I tried to save the entire res out there, but
So what's your plan? What's your plan? And I know you said that you want to go to a sober living facility, but what's your plan? What if you can't get into substance abuse programming in prison?
I want to get out of this area. I think my plan is to get involved in a program, preferably one that can co-counsel with like pain management. And I don't feel like Burnett County would be a good place for me to be because I honestly don't really know. I know too many people who use, and it would be way too easy to relapse. So I know for my own perspective, I need to move out of this area. So a big thing for me to do would be getting into a treatment program and then following those steps. Obviously, with my living situation right now, I can't Google and look this stuff up, but I'm hoping to be able to do that soon and get things in line. Like I said, I haven't.
May I say something, Judge?
You may.
I have this conversation with a lot of my clients, and Miss Haler and I had this conversation, especially somebody who hasn't been on supervision before. There's this stigma with probation agents that they're scary and you need to stay away from them or hide from them. And I tell my clients, use them as a resource because that's what they're supposed to be there for. They're supposed to help you find treatment programs and housing, and keep reaching out to them because that's what they're there for. So I think Miss Haler knows that. I also told her she'll have a social worker assigned to her at the prison. I don't know how involved social workers are with their clients at the prison, but I told her if her social worker doesn't reach out to her, that she needs to find out who that person is and reach out and make them do their job and help her get a program set up.
Thank you. I have one last question. How are you feeling since being on these nerve meds?
They really don't help. I mean,
What has helped you since you've been incarcerated?
nothing. I've been dealing with this with Tylenol, maybe ibuprofen. I cried myself to sleep so many times. I mean, it hurts like hell. But in jail, it's not always possible to take care of these issues. I literally had to deal with it with Tylenol and ibuprofen. Botox does help. It helps with the twitching.
I'm guessing because of the facial injuries. And
My seventh nerve was completely severed right there.
I can see that.
And
Terrible, terrible car accident.
yeah, and I got these scars down here all the way over to my ear there. And my face twitches all around when the nerves regrew. And the ones that were supposed to go down to my mouth went up to my eye. And the ones that were supposed to go in my eye came down to my mouth. And yeah, I have facial twitches constantly. Botox helps. Usually I get like every 5 years.
You get Botox every 5 years?
Usually, yeah.
It lasts for 5 years?
I think it's more because of the way the nerves regrew back, or I don't know, but yeah, it usually lasts for about 5 years for me.
All right.
No, I've been getting Botox since I was 20. I am definitely due for one. Yep.
All right. Well, Ms. Haler, I've heard a lot, and I'm very glad and I really am very glad that you were open and you shared all that you did share. Quite honestly, I can't tell if it's all 100% truthful and accurate because I get told a lot of things and then I find out later that not really all the way truthful or accurate. But for the most part, I do believe you. I can tell, I mean, just by looking at you, the pain that you must be feeling every single day. I mean, it's very visible when you look at your face and you see the scarring and you look at your teeth that are no longer there because of the accident. Somehow you've managed, you may not have been thriving, but you've at least survived, incarcerated for over 440 days straight on Tylenol and ibuprofen. I'm not saying that that gave you the greatest outlook of life and you didn't feel the best, but hopefully that can tell you that there could be another option than self-medicating with heroin or other substances, because you will die. And not just because Miss Boatman died and her husband died and other individuals have died. The next time you use heroin, and especially because you are completely sober now and you have been for a long time, you may very well die.
I understand that.
And you have at least one son that is out there that you may not have in your custody and care, but he sure probably still loves his mama. And I'm sure you love him, and you do not want to leave him on this earth without you. You have to figure it out. You have to figure it out. I can't say that I fully understand what it's like to have the extreme amount of pain that you go through every single day. I wish that there was some way to be able to help, and it sounds like it is difficult waiting for pain medication, or if you don't have enough insurance or insurance coverage or things like that, it gets expensive. And I understand that street drugs may be a more costly way, but they're not, in no way are they healthier, and you may die easier and quicker. You become addicted, not that you don't on opiates, but then you get into situations like this where you go and buy drugs for somebody else and you get your cut, either money or drugs, and now you're going to prison. Because that is not the life that I think that you thought you should have as a little girl. It's not the life that you thought that you would have probably even 5 years ago, 3 years ago. And here you are, and you've been sitting in custody for a significant amount of time. But I do want to say, for the most part, every time you've been in court, you've been as upbeat as you possibly could. Like you said, you want to be that person that helps people out, and you want to be the person that is kind of easygoing and fun, and you, even though you've sat and you may not have had what you believe to be the attorney that had your back before, you still continue to be patient and work through the system and work with the DA's office, and then you continue to fight for your ability to get another attorney, and you wound up getting the prize of Miss Landgraf.
Yes, ma'am.
So I wanted to hear more about your story and your situation, because quite honestly, I was not sure what to do. This is a prison case for sure. This is intent to deliver heroin. But I wasn't sure, do I go lesser amount? Do I go more than the recommended amount? What do I do? I'm inclined to go a lesser. I'm inclined to say, you know what? You've been a trooper and you were a pawn more than you were culpable or more culpable person in this. I can't say I know Charles Mitchell well, other than what I know of him in front of me in court and in his case, but he has not served you well. And I know you love him and you love him dearly. You've been with him 13 some odd years. But I can't say that even if I had a significant other that was in extreme pain the way you are, I would direct them to an illegal substance, and I would then go and start dealing and delivering and doing that stuff. I would try every other option in the world because I wouldn't want to see that person in pain.
And Your Honor, I fervently hope that you don't ever have to. Honestly, I hope you never experience this type of pain. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy.
I wish that I could take that away from you and wave a magic wand. I wouldn't wish that on anyone, Ms. Haler. Now, when I'm looking at this case, again, this is one of the more serious cases in front of me, and I look at your character, and I do have that you are accepting responsibility. You could have brought this to trial. You could have said, no, I'm not going to plead to anything that would require me to go to prison for a total of 4 years. You could have done, you had many other things that you could have done, but you said, you know what? I did it. I'm accepting the responsibility, and I am as okay as I can be going to prison for a total of 4 years. Okay, so that takes a lot of guts right there.
Thank you.
You don't have an extensive criminal history. You have this felony and another misdemeanor. You're not out there, I mean, you're out there doing things you shouldn't do. You are not in control of whether or not somebody lives or dies, and you never should be. You should never help or participate in someone else using illegal substances, because quite honestly, their death will be upon you. And then you are enabling them to continue down that road. And I've seen it so many times before where, and you have seen it, and I don't know why your son is not with you, but perhaps it is because of the substances. I don't know. But when somebody is addicted or somebody starts dealing in any way, shape, or form, you're not only affecting your life, you're affecting your kids' lives, your family's life, your friends' life. You're affecting the lives of the people that you are giving this illegal substance to. And we have proof. Heroin is such a deadly and destructive drug. I would hate to see you, again, I would hate to see you OD and die the next time you decide to pick up that needle. I have to look at needing to protect the public, and again, you're not the more culpable person here. I feel from what I've heard that you did this out of desperation to relieve your pain and to honestly have, because you're not able to work, you're not able to get more money. So you felt like this was your only option, and you had somebody who was willing to give you the money, willing to give you the car, and willing to give you the excuse to go to the cities to get this drug that you felt relieved some of your physical pain. So in looking at this case and in taking into account the information provided by Ms. Landgraf in her sentencing memorandum, if I were to send you to prison for a lesser amount than the 2 years, you would not even have the ability to do the substance abuse programming. So I'm setting you up to fail, and I'm not having you have a formulated plan of what you're going to do or to have some type of programming. I think you need some type of programming because you need somebody to help you, and hopefully they can help with the pain management portion of that too.
May I say something on this? I really don't want to go into Cheetah, but I accept my role and what I gotta do. The thing that does worry me about doing the substance program there is that it wouldn't help with the pain management part. So if I got released without having to go to Cheetah, if the probation officer can help me find uh, a program that will also include pain management, especially a STEP program where I would be doing inpatient treatment and then be able to move to outpatient treatment with a sober house and the steps like that. I think, and I don't want you to think I'm saying this just to get a real sign.
So I understand exactly what you're saying, and
Okay.
I'm reading what your mind, I'm not reading your mind, but I know I can feel what you're saying and I understand, and that is the perfect program. I can't order DOC to find that program and to make sure that you get in it now or later. And I can't order the prison to have some type of pain management portion into the substance abuse. I believe you're 100% correct. They don't have a pain management option with their substance abuse. So I don't know if it is a good alternative.
Honestly, Your Honor, if it doesn't deal with pain management, I think it would just be a setup for failure.
And it very well might be, because I think you can't, you can't and you shouldn't use illegal substances. I think you know that the next time you do, you could die. And there may not be enough cans of Narcan. 4 may not be enough. 6 may not be enough.
I understand that. I honestly do. I've seen it.
Oh. I need to look at deterrence, not only deterring you from not doing this, but deterring the other general public from not engaging in the intent to deliver.
I would like to get out of this area because, like I said, people I know here in Burnett use. If I am in Burnett County, I feel it would be extremely easy for me to relapse.
I
And-
agree.
And knowing that, I am more than willing to go anywhere to get this treatment.
All right, here's what I'm gonna do. Again, I can't order Department of Corrections to put you into any type of treatment or any type of treatment that has pain management. I can't order them to do any of that. I can state as a condition that if they recommend that, then you must follow it, but I can't order them to do it. And if I send you to prison for 2 years, you already have almost 1 year and 5 months in. And so that would only leave a period of about 6 months, because it takes about a month to be processed and shipped. And then you're going to go and figure out what you're going to do. You may not even have a bed to get into the substance abuse programming, even if it could be beneficial. And because I do believe that you were a pawn, and I do believe that you fully did engage in this and you knew what was happening. But I do believe that you thought you had no other choice and you were desperate. And this is not the typical situation of just somebody engaging in the dealing and selling. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sentence you to 1.5 years of initial incarceration. So you will need to go to Cheetah. You will need to be processed. You will be there for a short amount of time. It will give you a short amount of time to be able to contact your DOC agent and see about having some type of treatment that will work for you.
Okay.
And you will formulate a plan of where you're going to go and what you're going to do and where you're going to be, not in Burnett County. I'm not going to banish you, and I'm not going to say you can't come back to Burnett County, but you know as well as I do, you shouldn't be here. It will kill you.
I understand.
So 1.5 years of initial confinement. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do more time on the tail end, because if you're going to mess up and you're going to do this again and you're not going to figure things out, you're not going to get your pain situated along with the treatment options, and you get revoked off of extended supervision, you will have to sit longer in prison. Okay? So what I'm going to do is 5 years of extended supervision.
Good.
So that means this is a total of a 6.5-year prison sentence instead of the 4 that you agreed to, because I'm doing a lesser front end.
Yes, Your Honor, I understand.
Actually, I'm going to change that to 4, not 5 years. So 1.5 in, 4 years out.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And I'm doing that because I'm trying to do the equation in my head of what is legal to be able to do. So I'm giving you a chance to get your life back, Ms. Haler.
I appreciate it.
Conditions on extended supervision. You must have a pain management evaluation and complete all follow through. No prescription drugs without a valid prescription. No drugs without a valid prescription. No use of any illegal substances. You must do the program Thinking for a Change or something similar. You must do all treatment programming as directed by Department of Corrections. You must reside in a sober living facility if at the discretion and availability of Department of Corrections. You must take a parenting class for parents who have drug addictions. I'm affirming my decision of forfeiting $2,616 because that was rightfully forfeited due to your violations of bond and your failure to appear that one or two times. I can't recall off the top of my head how many it was. The remainder amount of that will cover all of your fines and fees and that restitution. That means you will be at a 0.
Thank you.
But the remaining amount, I am affirming my decision on forfeiting the bulk of that because not only did you violate the law again, not only did you fail to come to court, but this is a serious case. Serious implications here, and there should be a penalty, and that will continue with that forfeiture. But you will not have any other money to pay. You will be at a 0.
Thank you, Your Honor.
This is a felony, no use or possession of a firearm for life, no voting in any election until your civil rights are restored. You must report to probation immediately. Again, 1.5 years in, 4 years out. If you are revoked on extended supervision, you would be eligible for the substance abuse programming right away. You are not eligible for the challenge incarceration program because of your age. Oh, jail credit, 494 days.
Your Honor, I want to thank you for being so understanding.
Ms. Haler, I have empathy for you for the pain that you suffer. I do not condone your actions or your conduct or what you did. I have an understanding of why you did it. Do better, be better. And I'm praying to God right now that He can help get your pain under control.
Thank you.
Thank you. You are adjourned.